Welcome to Friday Night Frights. This is the fifth Friday of the series, and just a little recap. I am calling them Friday Night Frights because I'm posting these projects on a Friday. It's as simple as that. And make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell so that you can catch all of the videos. But I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're joining me, and I hope that you give me that thumbs up. That would be greatly appreciated. So again, I have another project that has nothing to do with paper. This has been something that's been on my bucket list. This is something I saw on Pinterest one time, and I thought, oh my gosh, I am in love with that. I need to try and make some of these gorgeous, gorgeous spiders. And also, I'm going to teach you how to make your own. I hope you keep watching for that. I've also seen them called Christmas spiders because some people take them and hang these on a Christmas tree. I think I might even actually wear this as a pendant or a necklace. And they're not super heavy. They're fairly lightweight. And but you can just see how it really doesn't matter what colors you use. You can just make some gorgeous, gorgeous spiders with just about any beads that you have. Oops, this one's catching on the spider web there. And this one, I just love those beautiful jewel tones and the vibrant colors. It just came out so pretty. These are my little bead spiders. I hope you like them and keep watching and I'll show you how to create your own. So you're going to need a piece of wire that is 4 inches long, and I'm using a 22 gauge wire. Then you're going to need 4 pieces of wire that are 8 inches long, and I'm using a 24 gauge on these. You're going to need wire cutters, round nose pliers, and flat nose pliers. The beads will just depend on how you design your spider. This bead, because I'm using the smaller beads, it took a lot more than this spider here. So it really just depends on how you design it. So, but to give you a visual aid, for this spider here, I purchased these beads. I purchased 3 packages because I wasn't sure how many to use. And each package has 3 strands. I had purchased 3 packages, so I had 9 strands in total. I used 5 of the 9 strands, so this is what I have left over. So I used a little over half, so a little more than what you see here. Now keep in mind, I didn't use every single bugle bead, and I didn't use any of these flat ones here. However, I did use most of it off the strand, I would say. So just a little more than what you see here for this spider right here. Also, I did use some jewelry findings like these spacers that you see here on the spider. On this one here, I also used them on the legs as well. And that is it for the supplies. I hope that gives you an idea of how many beads that you need. And of course, you're going to need a larger bead for the body and a smaller bead for the head. So I'm going to start with the body. So I'm taking my 4-inch wire and I'm just going to coil the end with my round nose pliers. And I don't need a lot. I'm probably just going to coil it around maybe 2-3 times. Doesn't have to be a lot. Take my flat nose pliers and just kind of push that down together. And then I usually like to have a little tip or a nose for my spiders. It kind of just gives that appearance of the pinchers, I think. I'm just going to use this little round seed bead for that maybe. Let's see what that looks like. I don't know. Let me, I have one of these little round spacer type beads. So let's see what that looks like. I think that's fine. I'm going to go with that. And then I think I'm going to use the bigger spacer bead in between the head and the body. And I just like that look. You don't have to have a spacer in there. That just happens to be kind of what I like to do when I'm making my spiders. And then on the back, I think I'm going to use this bead cap. It kind of sticks out a little bit. Kind of reminds me of maybe the stinger of the spider. So that's what I have so far. And I'm trying to decide if I need a little seed bead on the end or, okay, I'll just go with that since I got it on there. I could do with or without it maybe. So now I'm going to trim my wire to about a thumb's length away from the beads because I don't need all that. So I'm just going to keep coiling that around till I get kind of to the end there. And I don't want it tight because you're going to be stringing the legs in between the body and the head. So don't make that a tight coil all the way to the edge there. These beads are definitely smaller than any that I have used so far for the body and the head. You can see how tiny that one is compared to the others. So we'll see how it goes. Now I'm taking my long 8-inch pieces of 24 gauge wire and I'm just going to try to make sure that they're all even here on one end. And then I'm going to try to find the center here and just fold that in half like that. And then I'm going to put this behind that, or in front of that, depending on what you want to say. It's in between the spacer and the head, those wires, and I've just folded those down. And I'm going to crisscross over and then pull down again. Okay, so that's all there is to attaching the legs. You could crisscross it again if you want, but I haven't had any problems with just doing it the once. So now I think I'm going to take this loop here in the back and maybe just tighten that up a little bit. So now you have your 8 legs, and all we need to do now is just to start decorating them. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start by adding some seed beads. I think for me that is the easiest thing to do for right up close to the body, because then those beads can get down in there nice and tight and keep those legs kind of in place nice and tight. So I decided to dump a few of these little seed beads on this tray here, just much easier to pick out the ones that I think have kind of a green hue to them. And then also, I had thought earlier I wanted more of a green and black spider, and so I decided to change out those little seed beads on the end and add the black. And so now I'm just going to start adding beads to this one leg here and, you know, see what I can come up with. I might put a few on and take a few off. It just, if I don't like it, you know, you can always change it. And I do have some of those silver bindings in the body, so I'm going to add a little bit of that to the legs as well. All right, so I'm actually okay with what I have right now, and I didn't want this to be a very long leg. This body and head is kind of smaller than the other spider, so it doesn't have to be a whole lot on the legs. So I'm just going to coil the ends here and tighten that up with these flat pliers a little bit, and there's my first leg. So I'm going to duplicate this on the rest of the legs, and I'll be back. All right, so I finished beading my spider and I've just bent the legs a little bit to give it that shape. So here you have it, the beaded spiders. I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial and I would appreciate it if you guys gave me that thumbs up and hit that like button and make sure you're subscribed so you can catch my upcoming videos. Thanks for watching.